Night Frenzy, brought to you by Junction Square Pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially playoff time on the Western Slope, and it is Friday Night Frenzy. He's
Titus Cleveland.
And I'm Big Will Levinson. Titus, 3 teams remain in the hunt for a title on the Western Slope. Montrose, Grand Junction, we'll get to both of those later. But tonight, the Palisade Bulldogs kicked off the 3A playoffs.
Yeah, Will, Palisade in the 4th seed in the 3A tournament. They were really looking to build off of that great win that they had last week, or a great 8-2 season, regular season overall. They're looking to bounce back or take that into the playoffs, and I think they had a really good chance today. Let's take a look at those highlights. We pick it up in the second quarter, all knotted up at 0. Severance QB Brady Iverson looking to make something happen inside the red zone as he finds sophomore Jordan Rodriguez smooth like butter as he hauls it in for the score. And the Knights would strike first. Severance leads 7-0. Now with just over 3 minutes left in the half, Branson Springer and the Bulldogs trying to get some life on the offense, looking for Caleb Reed, but hold up. Max Jan says, "I see you, player," and he picks him off clean. The Knights sideline, they are hyped, coaches and players. Severance feeling good, looking to add to their lead before the break. They go Wildcat. Running back Ian Pennock taking snaps like he's Taysom Hill, fakes the pass, and bursts right up the field for a big, huge yardage. But the Bulldogs defense, they would stand tall on their own 10, holding the Knights to just a field goal. And Severance up 10-0 under 2 minutes before they were going to halftime. They would be up right now 10-0, 2 minutes left to go in the game. And they're trying to get Palisade trying to get something going. The Springer tries to shake the defense with a little trickery, but the Knights are not falling for it. Springer manages to get the ball out of his hands and finds Carter Haywood before hitting the turf. Haywood would grab some more yardage, but the Bulldogs would catch a break of a pass interference call, a play later, setting them up for a field goal. It would be good, and they would go into the half still down 10-3.
Yeah, good to get some points there at the end of the half, but a rough go of it offensively for Palisade. Following another stop, Severance makes a mistake. A muffed punt. The Bulldogs are on it. Easton Embry has the recovery to set up Palisade in business to just outside the 20 at the start of this second half. So maybe this could be the turning point here as Caleb Johnson gets a first down on 3rd down to set up 1st and goal for the Bulldogs. But Palisade would face a 4th and goal, and the run up the middle is absolutely stuffed. The Severance front 7 is ready for it, a huge stop, but the Bulldogs defense would hold and force a punt. They almost make another play on special teams and block it, but on the ensuing drive for Palisade again, they faced 4th down, and again, the Silver Knights were all over it. Then Severance slowly moved it down the field, chewed the clock, and here they try to make it a 2-score game on the field goal, but the snap is botched, so Palisade again makes a big stop to give their offense one final chance with just 4 minutes to go. And here we go. First play, Springer throws an absolute dart to Nathan Umberger. Great throw, but the next play, Severance brings the blitz and Springer coughs it up. Palisade would fall on it, but after the spike, it's 4th down. So one final play, and again, Springer is flushed, and just too much pressure by the Silver Knights defense as they absolutely and completely shut down a lethal Palisade rushing attack for all 4 quarters. A truly masterful defensive performance by the 13th seed Severance as they walk into Stoker Stadium and stun the Palisade Bulldogs in round 1 of the playoffs. 10-3 is the final as Palisade season comes to a disappointing end at 8-3. Head coach Joe Romano, of course, not thrilled after the game.
They were awfully good, and we struggled with some things that you can't struggle with at this time of year. So, I thought our defense played very tough. But they're solid. They're a solid football team. That league over there is the real deal when you get that many teams up in there like that. And we knew we had a tough draw, but it's, I really felt like we could do some things that we weren't able to do. So frustrating, but I love these guys because they, brought us back from a 3-7 to an 8-3. So that's a big difference.
Yeah, a tough loss for Palisade, but yeah, he said it right there. That's the spin, right? That's the positive spin. This team was 3-7 last year, and they finished 8-3 this year.
Yeah, well, you got to cover them a lot more than I did this season, but just the storyline that the Palisade Bulldogs had this season is something that people are going to remember forever in Grand Junction. I just got to give props to them for playing so well from start to finish in this season.
It really was. It is so many great moments, right? Nathan Umberger scoring that touchdown for his dad who passed away. So many moments within the season. Obviously, that Delta win to start the year, the Hail Mary. A lot to look back on and be proud of and be happy about if you're a Palisade Bulldog fan. But of course, a tough way to end a season. But folks, that Severance team, they were stingy again. They had the #1 team, Thompson Valley, on the ropes. They lost that game just 6-0. That defense of Severance, it is the real deal. But folks, we've got a massive playoff game happening tomorrow. The Grand Junction Tigers, they are in action. For the first time since 2011, it is mid-November, and the Grand Junction Tigers are still here practicing football.
Everything feels like it matters just a little bit more. Every move, every step matters a little bit more, and just more intense. Practices are more intense. They're more careful, more thought out. We're only looking into the game ahead instead of a couple games and planning and scheming. We just got to make it through the next week, and that's what we're doing.
You couldn't ask for a better start to the playoffs for Grand Junction. Their best offensive output of the season, putting up 59 points in a 30-point win.
It was the first football playoff game I've played in. Obviously, I don't know the last time we played in one, but winning that game how we did, it's just something like I could only dream for.
Offensively, we executed very well on Sunday. It all goes to the kids. We put the game plan in and they executed it, almost to perfection.
I want to remind you that over the last 4 seasons, Grand Junction football had won just 5 total games. The program appeared dead in the water until this season as the Tigers enter round 2 of the playoffs with a 10-1 record, and everything feels different.
It means the world. It's great for playing with these guys and doing everything, going through 1-9, 0-10, 2-8 seasons, and coming out, ending the season 9-1 feels amazing. Winning a playoff game, and the first playoff game in like 13 years feels amazing. It does a lot for the community too, because when we were coming out to the game, we see a bunch of people wearing their Junction Lettermans from when they were in high school, and it's just cool to see.
The senior class, and I've talked a lot about them this year, what they wanted to do with their senior year and how they wanted to change and put this program back on the right path. We met last spring, and it was win so many games and get in the playoffs, and like that's what we want to do. And what I love about it is they have redirected that focus to not get into the playoffs, but to continue to win. They want to win games, and they've changed the culture here. They have changed how this team goes about practice day in and day out, and they've changed just the whole demeanor.
But now it's time to show just how much this program has changed. Taking on a Ponderosa team on Saturday in round 2 of the 4A playoffs, and this is a Mustangs team that has a very balanced attack offensively, and they haven't scored less than 40 points in a game since October 4th.
Anytime you get to this round in the playoffs, everybody's good, and Ponderosa is very well coached. They've got some great athletes. They're good. They're very good sized up front. They run the ball well, and they got a great play-action game that we have spent a lot of time this week working on, changing up some fronts, doing some things that hopefully goes to our advantage.
This definitely is the best offensive line we've faced this year. So their running back is really good, and their offensive line, I mean, they just play scheme football, and they're coached well. They have experience in the playoffs, and it's just what makes them a good offensive team.
They have a ton of big athletic dudes on their team, so we just got to figure out how to get away from them and do what we do best and just keep playing our game of football, because we trust it, so we're going to believe in it all the way.
1 p.m. kickoff Saturday in Parker, Colorado. A huge game for the Grand Junction Tigers, trying to surprise some folks and perhaps pull up a bit of an upset tomorrow.
Well, they've done enough surprising. They've kind of showed why they deserve to be in this stage right here in the playoffs, because they've played great all season long. You heard the story in that great package you just did, starting from a bad record, and they just got better every single season. So this is their time, man, and I'm looking forward to them tomorrow.
This is their time, but it's also the Montrose Redhawks time, as Montrose will be at home Saturday, 1 p.m. The Frederick Golden Eagles, the 15 seed, will be in town. You won't want to miss tomorrow night sports. We'll have those highlights from a huge game as the #2 seed in all of 4A. Titus, this is the team that we believe can make a real run at this state title.
I mean, this team has been AP certified all season long. And if you don't know what that means, I mean, they've been a certified problem from start to finish. And I think that they can definitely keep it going tomorrow. And you will be there at that game, will you?
I will be there tomorrow at Montrose. Can't wait for that one. Love watching the Montrose Rush Attack go to work. It's hard for a cameraman to keep focused, hard for a defense to be focused when playing that Montrose offense as well. We cannot wait. Going to be a huge Saturday of playoff football. But that wraps up the final edition of Friday Night Frenzy from an absolutely spectacular high school football season. So many incredible moments. Folks, thanks for joining us all throughout the year. And here live from Grand Junction, I'm Big Will Levinson. He's
Titus Cleveland.
And we will see you tomorrow for a huge day in the playoffs.